Hello everybody, and welcome back to another warframe video. We are standing here in our orbiter as our operator. So as you know, this is another build video. This is going to be over a warframe that is my second most favorite frame and my second main frame that I use. You guys do not know, I am a Mesa main. Mesa Prime is my absolute baby and sweetheart when it comes to this game. But this frame is also my second favorite. I'm pretty sure it's also one of the most popular warframes, but she is my favorite. And I actually have a total of 3 builds for her. 2 of them may be common. The third one, probably not as much. So we're going to get into this build. The build, anyway. The frame we are looking at is Mirage Prime. Mirage has the abilities. She has the absolutely sexy looks, which is not even fun. She has the sexy looks. She has the abilities. The only problem with her is that she is so damn squishy. And so yeah, but she's a warframe that has the looks. She has the abilities. So yeah, my main build that I've been using from the very beginning is this build with Protea's Dispensary. Now, for this build, you probably don't need Energy Siphon, or you could probably swap that out for some like primary. Where the hell is it? I can swap this out for some, like, probably rifle amp, or whatever the aura mod that gives you in your team ability strength. For this one, I mean, my stats aren't so high, I'd probably want more duration, but we have Protea's Dispensary. Protea's Dispensary combined with Arcane Blessing. This somewhat helps with how squishy she is. I don't remember what the hell was here. I think it was Arcane Energize. You could swap this other arcane out, not that, for a primary damaging mod, so that way your weapon could do more damage. You're gonna want to max out with ability and strength. You could probably put on. Thing is, probably for some like, I don't know. You could swap up probably a mod and put in narrow-minded. But the thing is, the thing is about managing the range. We have our 4th ability on this one. And if you put on, I don't have maxed out mods, by the way. I don't have the resources for that. You don't need Prism Guard. Prism Guard is the complete optional mod here. I find it to be that her ball is a lot more consistent if you use this, but this will allow her ball not to have 13 meters, which means that the lasers will hit enemies within 13 meters. But everything else absolutely lasts so freaking long. You want Hall of... I'm not even going to try to pronounce this. You want this mod on due to the fact that so that way your doppelgangers can deal with enemies a lot more. The Dispensary with Arcane Blessing helps her being less squishy, albeit you still get fucked in the ass if you do that. Probably a bit more strength to get this up, but it's still pretty good. You can put on Augmented to get a bit... I think this is 60% more strength at max stacks, at max rank, but that's up to you. The weapon I used with her recently, I love the hell out of the turret using her, but my most favorite weapon to use as her is actually the Kuva Tonker. Because if you guys don't, for me, my personal opinion, Mirage makes AoE weapons such as the Brahma and the Tonker and the Tsar amazing fucking weapons. This is the build. It's your standard viral and slash. You don't need a ribbon. Thing is, I got a great one, so I'm using it. For that ribbon mod, you can put whatever you need there. Probably more flat damage, probably. Whatever you can fit there. But the Tonker is my favorite weapon to use this her, specifically because it's a AoE weapon. AoE weapons on Mirage are fucking godly when used. My opinion, this setup. I have a second build, which is pretty much the same thing. Thing is, we take out her 4th ability and replace it with Gloom, and we use Rage, so that way she has a lot of survivability. You can 100% swap this out for some like Rage or some for a primary mod. Probably something like Arcane Rise. And this is 100% unnecessary. You really don't need this. Unless you want more ability strength for this to get more damage out of it. I know the stats are practically the same, but they're... yeah. And you want to put on narrow-minded for this build for Gloom, because that way... because if you don't know how Gloom works, the range of it, the more enemies that are within its range circle, the more energy this ability takes, aka this ability tanks your fucking energy. And Mirage, yeah. Now the third build is one I found out that I'm going to use a shit ton more, and this is actually more of a melee build with Wrathful Advance. Wrathful Advance has become one of my most favorite abilities in the game due to the nature of it, and plus the teleporting thing, because you can trigger it by either using a heavy attack on an enemy, or you can hold the ability and teleport to a location. I love that ability. I use it as it's a good movement tool for one, and it's really good for the critical chance because it allows you to mod your melee weapons a lot differently. You don't got to focus in, because if you like crit builds on your melee weapons, you could put this on a warframe, and you can focus your other mod slots that would be for crit chance mods, for some like more crit damage, flat damage, whatever you feel like is necessary. Now, I'm going to go over a few melee weapons that I think are good for this Wrathful Advance setup, because this is going to be one of my most favorite setups. I'm going to use this setup a shit ton more for Steel Path. The Nikana Prime is one of my favorite to use with this setup. And like I said, the thing is, oh, this is the wrong build. It's this one right here. I always recommend using a Tennokai mod in your Exil slot, because there's really nothing to put in your slot for a melee weapon. So some like these Tennokai mods are the absolute best to put in the mods. I like Opportunity's Reach, because you get an extra 4-second window to use the Tennokai, so it's really nice. You don't need Condition Overload with this build. I actually don't know why the fuck this is on here. You can 100% take this off and put it for some like killing blow, so when you actually use the heavy attack on an enemy, you deal 120% more damage. You could probably do one of the Bane mods, so that way your slash damage probably does more damage to enemies. You can also do something like Arcane Primed Reach, so your weapon reaches more enemies. Or just attack speed. Actually, I'm putting Gladiator Vice for the attack speed, and for the, you see the second slot says critical chance, multiplier per combo. Nick, why the fuck are you putting this on? Thing is, the benefits to these mods are great. The critical chance is because this is 28% on the weapon by base. This Wrathful Advance is going to take it up to 140, close 150, 250. Those mods will bring it up to just that 300, giving you a lot of red crits. Another weapon that I absolutely fucking adore is the Orthos Prime. This is one of my most favorite melee weapons in the game. Nick, are you serious? Yes, this is one of my most favorite melee weapons in the game. The build is pretty much going to be the same for most of these weapons, except for melee prowess for the status chance. So we can get healing return to proc a lot more to stop. Because this helps Mirage with this build to be a lot less squishy. And the Orthos is great for proccing statuses. I mean, she has 111% with this Orthos Prime, 111% with this. So, I highly recommend the Orthos Prime. Give it a try with this build. This is my favorite melee weapon inside the entire game, because I like pole arms. So, I recommend you use this thing. Another weapon is probably the Siam, however the fuck you want to pronounce that, due to the heavy attack. If you guys don't know, this comes from Tesh's Cave, from Duviri. So this is not a new player-friendly weapon. If you don't have Duviri or not far enough in the storyline, avoid this weapon. But it has a heavy attack where if you use it, it's not like a normal Nakai, because a Nikana has the absolute worst fucking heavy attack in the game. I hate their heavy attack. Just how it functions, it's just fuck no. This thing has a good heavy attack. It launches a shockwave in the ground that has a really long range. I think it's like 15-20 meters of a fucking radius. Well, of length of how far it goes. I don't know. It's really long. Like, the build's about the same for most of it. Thanks for using Weeping Wounds, so that way we can actually get this to fucking proc more. Another weapon I recommend using with this is the Sun and Moon. Like I said, this comes from Duviri. Don't have Duviri unlocked, don't even bother. This became one of my most used melee weapons after it released. The builds, I don't have a second build for it. but this weapon I highly recommend using for it. It's the same build as these other three melee weapons. Another one is probably this weapon right here. I'm not even gonna try. With the same build as the other ones, but this is an incarnate weapon, so I do recommend using something like this as well, because its stats are actually pretty nice. You guys are probably saying, Nick, why don't you use the fucking Glaive Prime? I don't know, because it's the most popular weapon. I'm like, okay, its meta is one of the most popular weapons. Let's avoid it, because let's be honest, the reason why this game is boring is because we use what is meta, and we use what is the most powerful. So let's just avoid that and use some fun weapons, right? And that's how we are here. Or do we talk about meta weapons and meta builds on this channel? Of fucking course not. We talk about fun stuff. So if you want to use the Glaive Prime, it's pretty much the same build as we talked about the other ones. Another one is the Guandao with the same, because the Guandao, by base, has 32% crit chance. Empty mod slot, please. Has a 32% base crit chance, and a 2.4 multiplier. So, if you were to put on Gladiator Might with Organ Shatter, you get up to a 6%, which is really high. And yeah. I'm not using ribbons for any of these, because ribbons are a bitch to get. Well, they're not a bitch to get, but they get the ribbon on the weapon you want is another bitch, so we're not bothering with ribbons. I don't have any. Other weapons I highly recommend, Reaper Prime, due to the fact that has a 35% crit chance. So you really don't actually have to do anything to fix that. So yeah. So this is a case where use your favorite melee weapon. These are just some I highly recommend. The Grand Prime, if you want to use a long sword or a heavy sword, pretty much the same build as for the other weapons, focus more into other stuff. Docker Prime for a single-handed sword, same build as these up here. The Slate is probably not a bad idea, but it has a really low crit multiplier, so I would actually avoid the Slate now that I think about it. You wouldn't use this. Let's see, what others? The Cobra and Crane, or the Silva and Aegis with the same build. Swords and shields are fun. I like the Silva and Aegis. That's more of a mace and actually looks better than the Cobra and Crane. I mean, like, what the fuck is this? Okay. Or also the Hate is really good for it as well. I don't have. It's the same build as the others. I haven't used this weapon in a while, but it's one I do think you would use. It has an incarnate form that I don't have the Genesis for, but if you get the incarnate form, use this. Has the high stats and is really good. Is a really good scythe weapon. Problem is you got to kill a Stalker for this, and Stalker is simply not fun to fucking go after. Drops my controller. Great. Yeah. So the Hate is also a good choice. A Zaw from Whatchamadude on Cetus. This is a machete one with high crit chance. Build the same way as the top weapons, it's going to do you a lot. Reason why I also I'd say a Zaw as well, because they have a arcane called Exodia Contagion. This is more of just for fun, probably. But you don't need that for this. Those are all the melee weapons that I highly recommend for my World Full Advance, but like I said, just use your favorite melee, but those are the ones I found the most enjoyable, and then I'm probably going to use this build. Like I said, this build is one of my most favorites for a while now. For Talful, for the shards, okay, you want 2 ability casting speeds, because her abilities take forever to fucking cast, so use these. 2 Talfor's blue ones for the energy. This one is very changeable. You can use the red shards for ability strength or duration. Another one for more energy. Or you can use the topaz shards for the final one. Gain more ability damage on enemies afflicted by radiation. Her 4th ability, her disco ball, does radiation damage. So I recommend using the orange shards if you're focused on that. There you go, guys. That is all of my builds for one of my favorite warframes, Mirage Prime. The last one I showed you with World Full Advance is going to be my favorite for a while. So, yeah. you enjoyed the video, leave a like, greatly appreciate it. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button for videos like this for either gameplay and my opinions, tips, or hopefully helpful, or general gameplay you don't care about watching. Now let's go to the next one. Peace out, love you all, stay home, stay healthy, and yeah, see you on the next one. Bye.